Alright, YouTube, I'm back. And I got some interesting YouTube videos today. Today is going to be a rest day. Wednesday and Thursday is going to be 2 days in a row because there's some interviews coming up. I had to reboot my cell phone because I wasn't getting the messages and the emails properly. So, yeah. Now, today's YouTube video is going to be called Sex Game Hot Women on Harley Davidsons. Now, I made this YouTube video before on my old YouTube channels before it got sabotaged. And I'm going to do a revised version of this video because there's some guys that really like it. Now, for men who complain 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year that can't stand being approached by older women from the ages of 35 to 60, well, there are some ways that you can have some fun with older women. And I'm about to hit you with the secret that pickup artists and dating coaches don't ever talk about in those 2-hour, 3-hour, 4-hour seminars because they're too busy trying to get you to buy their books, their DVDs, and just want to sell you false hope and not tell you the truth, because telling the truth means they have to look for another job, and they don't want to do that because they're lazy and they're gutless cowards. About 90% of them are. And that is, there's two types of older women. See, the older women that you see in the movies and the television shows that are sexually active, that's just movies and television. Now, you know how you can tell if a woman is younger or if a woman's older? Pay attention to the clothes that they wear, the shoes and high heels that they wear, and their hairstyles. And then pay attention to the type of music that they like to listen to, and that will give you all the clues that you need. But there are some guys here on YouTube that might do that and say, well, I still can't tell the difference. So I have something that'll really set the game apart for you. And by the way, this video is for the guys that are from the age of 18 to 29, with the exception of 35 to 40. Because some guys might want to know in their 30s and 40s. Now, if you see a girl drive a motorcycle, usually she's got to be between the ages of 20 to 27. And the reason why I say from the ages of 20 to 27, sometimes 29, is because if they're driving motorcycles, usually the girl would have 2 jobs or 3 jobs, and she probably comes from a family where she has 2 or 3 brothers that basically showed her how to drive a car, how to drive a truck, and how to drive a motorcycle. So that means if she's driving a motorcycle, she's in her prime, basically. That's how you can tell she's driving a motorcycle. If she's driving a Harley Davidson, she's got to be in her between the ages of 30, maybe possibly 50 or 60. There are older black women and white women that do drive Harley Davidson motorcycles. So the Harley Davidson is more of a motorcycle for older men. And as time went on, women started driving the Harley Davidson. Now you see this motorcycle in movies, television shows. Ghost Rider is most familiar with this bike, because you saw it in both films of the Ghost Rider. Even in season 5 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you saw them make a car, but people wanted to see the bike. So they had the bike in the TV show, but it wasn't driven. Because they wanted to change up the character. You see it in Terminator 2 Judgment Day. You know, Arnold Schwarzenegger driving a Harley Davidson. If you saw the movie Captain Marvel, Brie Larson actually had to get a stunt double, and they had to train her on how to drive a Harley Davidson. So it is synonymous with riding the streets. Now, you need to go after older women that like to have fun, that like to have a sense of an adventure. You need older women who are not just going to the gym 2, 3, or 4 times a week to do cardio and sprint training. You need the older woman that likes to have fun. You need an older woman who is all about having fun 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. So, to find older women is easy. You can go to any nightclub, any bar, and you'll find older women from the age of 30 to like 60 plus. But those are the older women that are just there to find a high value male. And that's it. And that won't do you no good. So you need the older woman who's in her 30s or 40s or 50s that is rock climbing. You know, she's trying to climb the mountain, or she's jumping off an airplane with a parachute, or she's scuba diving, or she's going on road trips to foreign countries. You know, like Russia, Germany, Paris, France, United Kingdom. You need the older woman who goes to the art museum. Someone who likes to look up at the sky and look up at the stars, who likes to go camping, who likes to go fishing. And then, of course, she likes to drive Harley Davidson motorcycles. And while she's driving Harley Davidson motorcycles, that's how you'll know you're having fun. Now, they still have experience, and they still might have had sex with maybe 2, maybe 3, might even have sex with 5 guys. But what's better? Messing with a woman that had sex with 3 to 5 guys, or a woman who's messed around with 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 guys in 10 to 15 years, or worst case scenario, 20 years. That's worse. That's 10 times worse. You need to find the older woman that has a small body count. So what I'm saying is, you're not going to find the perfect woman. You're not going to find a woman who's never had sex in 10, 15, 20 years, or extreme cases, 25 to 30 years. You need to find someone that has a small body count. Someone who's honest right off the back. And someone who likes to have fun. You don't need to mess with the older women that their only reason for going to the nightclub in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s is just so they can get a high value male. You want the older woman that she might be in her 30s, in her 40s and 50s and 60s, but she don't look her age. She's in athletic shape. She goes to the gym 2, 3, 4 times a week. She eats her fruits and vegetables. She drinks lots of water. And she likes to have fun, no matter what it is. You know, she likes to play pool at the bar. She likes to drive motorcycles. She likes to jump out of an airplane with a parachute, scuba diving. That's how you would find those are older women that you can have fun with. If she's into rock and roll, usually her age will show, but she reinvents herself. Now, I'm not saying the sex ain't great, but it's, some sex is better than no sex. Versus the women that you went to high school and college with, they're going to be boring. They're not going to want to go out, and they're not going to want to do jack shit, but just sit there and watch television shows that are like 15 to 25 years old, and then drive you crazy about all the men that they messed with when they were in high school and college, back when they rejected you because you didn't have money, looks, and status. You don't want to mess with those older women. And you sure in the hell don't want to mess with older women from your dad's and your granddad's era, because those older women come after you too. You want the older women that when you see them, not only that they're mature and experienced, but you can have fun with them, and it's not going to always be a challenge for power. Now, if you were trying to find women from the age of 20 to 29, you can go to Venice Beach. You can go to Huntington Beach. If you guys are into surfing, you got some female surfers that will surf. Usually those girls are usually 23, 24, 26, 27. And guess what? You found you a young girl in her prime. See, the problem is a lot of men like to go to the nightclub and the bar. Those are not the only two places to find young, attractive women that are physically, sexually attractive. You go to Venice Beach and pay attention to how many people go out there and surf. You go out there, you will find a girl from the ages of 20 to 27 and sometimes 29 years old surfing. And that's the type of girl I think some of y'all should actually go after. Instead of Going after the girl that always goes to the nightclub and the bar, trying to chase men with money, looks, and status. You should be trying to go after a girl who has a very little body count to no body count. You see a girl surfing, chances is she probably have been in a relationship or her relationship ended, and you have a 80% chance of actually taking that girl out to lunch and dinner, or at least a cup of coffee, than to go to a nightclub and a bar and waste 2 hours, 3 hours, or 4 hours in a nightclub trying to get a phone number and then trying to smash the ass. You have a far better chance of going to the beach and approaching a black girl. Well, in this case, not too many black women surf, but I think maybe in some cities and states, I'll check. But you have a far better chance of picking up a white girl from the ages of 20 to 27 and sometimes 29 years old if she's surfing. You have a better 80% chance. If you're gonna mess with older women, you need the ones that go to the gym and stay in athletic shape in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60 plus. If they're driving Harley Davidson motorcycles, they're all about having fun. If they're rock climbing, if they're jumping out of an airplane, if they're camping, if they're fishing, those are the ones to have fun with. Now, they may not be physically, sexually attractive like they was in their prime because they've hit the wall at stage 1 and stage 2. But I'm talking about guys that complain that the only time women pay attention to them is when they get older. And I'm trying to tell you that there are ways you can make something that's boring have fun. Stay away from the older black women and white women who are just boring, who just want to stay at home 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, and do not want to go out in public. Don't ever mess with those older women. The ones that just want to sit at home all day and watch television and movies that are 15 to 25 years old. Stay away from them. You're not going to have no good experiences with those types of females. I actually had a black woman who's now in her mid-40s. Like about 4 years ago, she tried to do exactly just what I just described. Try to get me to come over to her house and just sit there and watch movies from 15 to 25 years ago. And I turned it down and rejected her. Because what you have to understand is when those types of women hit on you, they're not looking for sex. They're just trying to get into a relationship because they haven't been in a relationship for 10, 15, 20 years, and they manipulate you and they trick you into you giving them what they want. But when you want something, you get cheated out of the deal and cheated out of a golden opportunity. And then you invest all that time, energy, and money into this person. And before you know it, it's 3 years later. It's 5 years later. And there is no time machine to get that back. And then by the time you find the right person or just another person, you got to put all that time and energy into that individual. So, yeah, there are some guys that do like women that drive trucks, motorcycles, and Harley Davidsons. And there's nothing wrong with dating a girl that likes to surf. I see it at the beach, and every now and then I be checking out the girls that surf. They surf on the tidal wave. That girl's having fun. Yes, it's dangerous, but she's having fun. Versus you get an older woman and you enter into a sexless relationship and there ain't no sex for 3 years. There ain't no sex for 5 years of that relationship. Or you marry this woman and it's a sexless marriage for 5 years. Or it's a sexless marriage for 10 years. So women who drive Harley Davidsons are known to have fun. If she likes to play pool, that's a woman that likes to have fun. If that woman likes to jump out of an airplane with a parachute, she likes to have fun. She likes to fish. If she likes to climb a mountain that's 20 feet, 30 feet, she's fun and adventurous. Those are the older women to ask out to lunch and dinner. Those are the older women to ask out for a cup of coffee. And those are the older women that you can learn good experiences from while having sex. Now this ain't always a 100% guarantee. Some men like it. Some men don't like it. Some men find women who surf and mountain climb and jump out of airplanes and drive motorcycles physically sexually attractive, and some men do not find it physically sexually attractive. It all depends on your personality. It all depends on what you're looking for. And these women do make good girlfriends and good wives. Problem is, they don't get promoted enough. I'm just trying to give you some more alternatives. I'm just trying to give you some more choices and more options. So if you're in your 20s or 30s or early 40s as a man, you have something to pick and choose from. Now, it ain't going to be no supermodels or no fitness models or no booty models or no actresses. It ain't going to be the news lady or the cheerleader, but at least you'll have a girlfriend. At least you'll be in a relationship that might last 5 to 10 years. And the reason why I suggest a woman who drives a Harley Davidson, a motorcycle, or does surfing, that would be actually better than going to the nightclubs and the bars where you got an 80% chance of rejection and a 20% success rate. Whereas if you go approach a woman at the beach that surf, you got an 80% chance of being successful and a 20% chance of being rejected. Or we can just be conventional, say it's 50-50. But at least those women have a small body count. So I'm not saying you're going to find the perfect woman, because there is no such thing, but they have a small body count compared to the women at the nightclub who have a far bigger body count. So basically, in a nice way, I'm saying, what's better? A small body count, as in 2 or 3 women? 2 or 3 men that she had sex with, versus she'd have had sex with 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 guys in 10 to 15 years, worst case, 20 years. So this video is just to try to give you an idea to open your mind and look at other options. Some of you guys will understand where I'm coming from. Some of you might be confused and indecisive and can't come to a conclusion. Some might say this just came from out of left field. It probably did. But it's a revised version video. I had done it on my old channel. It was successful. Some people were into the video. So that's why I'm doing it. Hell, why is it kept closed? Should go after the girl that likes skateboarding. You get a girl that likes skateboarding, again, you can't go wrong. Those women don't get promoted. I see some black guys date white girls and black girls that skateboard. There are Asian women that skateboard. So skateboarding, surfing, driving motorcycles, Harley Davidsons, those, in my opinion, should be the women you should go seek after. So if you want to know if a girl's young, from the ages of 20 to 27, sometimes 29, she'll drive a motorcycle, skateboard, or surf. That's how you find out a woman's in her prime. Instead of always the nightclub and the bar. If the only type of women you can get is an older woman that's in her 30s, 40s, and 50s, and 60 plus, rock concerts, mountain climbing, rock climbing, scuba diving, jumping out of an airplane with a parachute, going on road trips, camping, and of course, driving a Harley Davidson. Because Harley Davidson is actually supposed to be a motorcycle that's made for older people. Sorry. You do see some guys in their 20s, but you know what I mean. That type of bike is made for older people, because you always see older guys in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s driving Harley Davidsons. If you're in your 20s or 30s, you're most likely to drive a motorcycle. And if you get a girl that has the badass leather jacket and she's in her 30s, she's all about having fun. If you go take her to the pool table, she might kick your ass 2 or 3 times in pool, but those are the older women to have fun with. Stay away from the ones that just want to sit at home all day, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, and just waste your time with nothing. And then you enter into a sexless relationship or a sexless marriage. Now, I'm not saying that's not going to happen with these types of women. What I'm saying is, at some point, you'll get something good and great out of it. With the girls that drive their motorcycle, sex is always included. Might take you 5 months, might take you 10 months, might be almost 2 years, but sex is included if you mess with the girl who drives the motorcycle, who surfs, who skateboard, who jumps off of an airplane with a parachute. Sex is included. It might take a while, but at least with them, you get it. With the older women that I'm talking about that just want to sit at home and watch TV, those are the worst type of older women in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. The ones that don't want to go nowhere. You can't take them to the movies. You can't take them to the mall. You can't take them to the park. You can't take them to the beach. You can't take them nowhere. Those are the worst ones. The ones that are out having fun and they may not look their age because they go to the gym. Those are the ones you should approach. So if you can't, for some reason, no matter how old you get, still can't get young women, this is how you identify someone in their prime and someone who's not in their prime but is still out there having fun. Stay away from the older women that want to bore you to death with crap that happened back in high school and college and just want to watch movies that are 15 to 25 years old, because that's 80% of your time with them and you're not really getting no action. And they don't think they have to give it to you. So that's a respect issue.